Welcome to the UGC lecture series. This is E-Pathashala lecture series on postgraduate courses in the subject of computer science, and we are talking about the paper data structures. And in this module we are going to look at another abstract data type, which is the dictionary abstract data type or ADT, the dictionary ADT. So, special type of ADT, not the conventional set of ADTs that we have seen up to now, like we have seen lists, we have seen stacks, we have seen queues. So, this is a dictionary ADT. Actually, it is like normal data structures, but except that we are giving it some special properties that are specific to dictionaries. So, and dictionary is a very important concept in many computer science applications. So, that is why we are doing this. So, this is the development team and the people responsible for creating this module. And let us first look at the learning objectives of this particular module. Learning objectives of this module is to explain the concept of dictionary, how we are going to define dictionary, only then we can formulate a ADT for it. Then we are going to talk about the operations of on this dictionary ADT. Then we are going to look at find all keys algorithm, which is very important as far as the dictionary ADT is concerned, and we are going to look at that. There are many different ways in which this algorithm can be defined, but we are going to use the binary search. And we are going to understand, this is very interesting, we are going to understand 3 array based and 3 linked list based applications of dictionary. So, this is what we are going to look at, and we are going to use the keywords here are dictionary, find all key. This is, as you see, find all keys is an important operation as far as the dictionary is concerned. And we are also looking at something called a binary search. As I already told you in the previous modules, we are not specifically looking at search algorithm or sort algorithm. We are going to use talk about them and describe them as and when they come into the picture when we describe data structures. Okay. So, now let us look at first the specification for the dictionary ADT. So, at this particular point of time we are looking at a dictionary ADT. So, what do you think are the specifications of a dictionary ADT? It is like a priority queue, and that is why we are talking about this module immediately after we talk about a priority queue. It contains entries that have 2 parts. In the previous priority queue also we had entries that contain 2 parts, the key and the data. So, you have 2 parts, a keyword for the search key and a value associated with the key. So, you have a search key and a value. So, that is how a dictionary ADT entry will look like, similar to priority queue, and the dictionary organizes and identifies its entries by the search key. They are not bothered about the position in the list, they are organized and also identifies the entries that they have in the dictionary by their search key. So, that is what is different in a dictionary, and the keyword enables you to locate the value. Our function finally is to locate a value, or our aim finally is to locate a value, but the keyword is the one that that facilitates our locating the value. And multiple items with the same key are allowed. There is no question of not having duplicates, it is allowed. So, you can have multiple items with the same key, and the dictionary is sometimes also called a map or a table. So, different books do use different terminologies, but here we are going to use the terminology dictionary ADT. Okay. So, now let us look at some, why do you want to talk about dictionary ADT specifically? It is not a primitive data structure, so to say, or the basic data types, data structures like list, stack, queue, tree and so on. So, why are we talking about this? Because there are a lot of applications that use dictionary ADT. So, one is word definition pairs, you have a word and its definition, that word definition pairs. Credit card authorizations, they also use this dictionary, and telephone directory, that is a telephone directory is a typical example of a dictionary, because it is sorted in particular order in a alphabetic order. Library catalog, again maybe by some number keys it is sorted, and FAT, file allocation table is also sorted according to some particular criterion. The criterion by which it is the key values are sorted or placed is not important. It could be alphabetic, it could be numeric, it could be some coding, it could be anything. And symbol tables for compiler, again that is important. So, that is again a typical fat and symbol tables are specific examples of use of dictionaries in the computing world itself. And customer records you can access by name. So, that is another example where we need it. Games, position, this is a very interesting and different application where positions and configurations together are stored and you must be able to search for it. Spell checkers is another example. P2 access P2P systems. So, you want to access songs by name, you could sometimes access songs by musician, by film and so on. So, depending on that you can have dictionaries for that. So, the dictionary basically you have some key and some value associated. So, for example, customer records you could have the name and the values, what is the last amount or he purchased or for what amount he purchased and so on, it depends on the application. So, the key values associated. Okay. So, what are the operations that you normally require on a dictionary ADT? That is the next question you have to answer. So, here you have test whether the dictionary is empty. So, that is the first, any data structure we have done this. If you remember, the core of any data structure there are some operations. One is empty, checking whether it is empty, full is normally implementation dependent, then insertion, deletion. These are things that we normally have for any data set. Similarly, for the dictionary ADT also we have any ADT. So, for the dictionary ADT we have whether the dictionary is empty and then get the number of items in the dictionary, what is the size of the dictionary in other words. Then insert a new item into the dictionary, remove an item with a particular search key from the dictionary, okay. Remove all items from the dictionary and then get an item with a given search key from, this is very typical. So, given a item you have to get that with a particular search key from the dictionary. Test whether the dictionary contains an item with given search key, just test whether that it gets. Get item, remember we have already spoken about this, one is accessing an element and one is getting the value. Testing whether that element is there, it will give a true or false value. Getting an item, it will return the item for you. And you can traverse items in dictionary in a sorted search key order. So, normally the items in a dictionary are oriented towards the search key. So, you can traverse it in a sorted search key order, not value order, but search key order. So, you can see that the operations are little different. Test whether the dictionary is empty is same, number of items is same, insertion is same, but everything is with respect to the key. Remove all items from the dictionary, get an item, test whether the item is there and traverse in sorted order. So, these are typical operations. So, the simple with these in mind we can define the simple container methods. Size is empty elements and that is this is basically you are trying to find what is the number of elements in the dictionary, whether the dictionary is empty and you can get all the elements of the dictionary. Next is find the elements k. If the dictionary has an entry with key k, returns it, else returns null and returns an iterator with all entries with key k. Now, this is slightly different from a normal operation for other ADTs, because as we discussed in the beginning, a particular key can be associated with a number of entries, number of values, they can have the same key. So, when you find elements k associated with the key k, you must find all the elements. So, that is why we are saying if the dictionary has an entry with key k, then it returns that value, otherwise it will or it returns null and it returns an iterator, it also returns all the entries associated with the particular key, okay, and returns an iterator of the entries in the dictionary, that is another all the entries. And there is also a special element called no such key, which returns which tells you that you have an unsuccessful search. The update methods include insert the key with particular e value, inserts the entry, here we are talking about entry. So, it gives the entry, removes an element with a particular key and removes all elements with a particular key. So, it can remove one element with a particular key value or it can remove all elements associated with a particular key value. This is very important and different from other operations, where with a particular key, when you are doing a deletion, you are doing a chunk of items deletion, because the key can be associated more than one value. So, you will have number of entries for that particular key and all the entries has to be deleted. This is a slightly different definition, I mean operation that we are using for the dictionary ADT. So, how do you use the ADT dictionary? a directory of telephone numbers, what is the search key and the corresponding value, that is an example. So, you have a telephone directory and you have a phone book and you have a dictionary, you have a name and an associated string. So, it is sorted according to the name and associated with that name you will have a key. So, this is a way of the ADT dictionary can be defined. So, what are the main issues associated with this? The size is important, the operations, whether you are allowing for search, you are allowing for insert, you are allowing for delete, insert you have to, whether you are allowing delete, whether you are using it to create reports, whether you are using it to get a list. So, these are important operations that you have to decide when you design the ADT. And what will be stored in the dictionary? What is it that you are going to store in the dictionary? What are the keys and what are the entries? How will the items be identified? And the important algorithm, as we already told you for the dictionary, is the find all k algorithm, that is find all the elements associated with the particular key. So, create an initially empty list L. So, that is what we have created here. Then you have a key and an object. So, assume that you have the keys 45, 77, 45, 89 and the objects associated cat, rain, dog, man. So, let us assume this, and what we do is when there is a next, when that B has a next, then you put an entry. Now, remember we want to find all the elements associated with k. So, here we have two values associated with 45 and we want the output to be, that is the L should contain the find all k, that is all the elements associated with that particular k. So, how do we do this algorithm? We are using two lists, the empty list we start off with. So, you try to find out whether the particular key B has a next element. If it is so, you enter it. If that key is k, then you insert it into L and insert it to the last of L, so that you get it in that order. So, what we are trying to do here is we are just checking out whether the list still exists. You start with the first one, that is 45, that is the key you want, and then you keep doing this while there are elements in the list, because you do not know where it will be, it can be anywhere. So, you start with 45 and cat and then you keep on iterating till you find another 45 and then do the dog. So, the if is to check whether the key is what you want, the while is to see that you go through the complete list and the elements will be returned, L will be returned. So, this is the find all k algorithm. The insert method here is you have to insert a key with a particular value. So, the input is a key k and the value v and the output is a entry k v added to d. So, you create a new entry first, the entry will be associated with both the key and the value, and you can do it in different ways. This is what is important in a dictionary. If it is unordered, you always insert it into S, the where you want to insert, to the last. So, you do not have to do anything and then you return the entry. So, that is one way of insertion. Remove method, an entry E is given, input is that, the removed entry E or null if E is not in the dictionary. We do not assume here that E stores its location, it does not store its location in S. Okay. So, B is equal to S positions, and while B has next, that is the loop that searches through the list, you keep on going through it, and if it is the element E, then you remove it. So, that is this is a typical list, also we use the same logic. So, you just go through the list and the P is the search variable, which we have always used in a lot of modules before, lot of data structures. If it is equal to the element that is given that has to be removed, you remove it and return that element. So, that is the remove method, and if there is no element, then you have to return null. Okay. Now, let us look at the implementations. This is what is interesting in this particular module, because we are looking at different implementation for the dictionary ADT. So, what are the implementations we are looking at? So, it is sorted by search key and it is array based, that is the one implementation. It is sorted by search key, but it is link based. Then it is sorted, unsorted and array based, and unsorted and link based. So, these are the four methods that we are that are used for the implementations, that is you have a sorted order array based, sorted order link based, unsorted order array based and unsorted link based. So, it is the elementary thing is that arrays, vectors, linked list, the organization, everything is, it has to be sorted and hashed if it is sorted. So, there are other methods that are used for this, which is the balanced trees, but here we are not looking at balanced trees yet. So, we are considering linear implementations here. So, we are selecting an implementation it is more, the perspective is easy to understand, it is efficient, and the motivation for using linear implementations is always there. The questions to ask, obviously in ADADT the questions that we have to ask is what operations are needed and how often is each operation required. This is for everything. So, whether we want any implementation choice has to depend on this. If I want a insertion deletion quite frequently and how often do I want it, those are the things that I have to answer when I decide on the implementation. Okay. So, 3 scenarios. Let us look at the scenarios. Insertion and traversal is in no particular order is what is needed. Retrieval, is a binary search of a linked chain possible? How much more efficient is a binary search for an array than a sequential search for a linked chain? So, these are issues that we have to consider. Insertion, removal, retrieval and traversal in sorted order is necessary, and add and remove must. What should it do? It should find the appropriate position in the dictionary and insert it into that position, because we are talking about traversal in sorted order. So, this is an important issue. What we are looking at is what are the scenarios that exist for selecting the implementation. Okay. So, next we have implementing a dictionary with a sequence. So, you can have an unordered sequence, you search and remove will take 0 order of n time, while inserting will take of the order of 1 time. So, what we are doing here is as it comes you just keep on inserting. So, that is why it takes of the order of 1. But if you are searching for an element, you have to search the complete list, and if you want to remove also you have to find the element and remove. So, you take of the order of n, where n is the number of elements. So, applications are to log files where you have frequent insertions, but rare to do search and removals. So, suppose you have 34, 14, 12, 22, 18, these are the elements you want to insert. So, you have this. So, 34 and so on, some elements that you want to insert. So, you can just insert it in the order that it comes. Then you have array based ordered sequence. So, here we assume the keys are to be ordered. So, searching takes of the order of log n, that is the time for the binary search. Inserting and removing takes of the order of n time. Application is lookup tables. Here we want frequent searches are there and insertions and removals are rare. So, search is more important. So, we are trying, there we had search of the order of n, here we are reducing the time to the order of log n, because that is the most frequent operations. Okay. And binary search, narrow down the search range in, this is just explaining binary search. So, suppose you want to find an element 56, what do? You have the low and the high and the mid, and then you find the element, the elements are in sorted order. Okay. So, that is when binary search works. So, what you do, you want to find the element 56. So, what do? You first check out whether the element 56 is greater than the mid. So, here it is greater than the mid. So, what you do? You change the mid to low plus high by 2. So, here you have 8, that is the first step. So, 8 is the mid, and you search whether 56 is the key. You find that 56 is greater than the mid element 25. So, you have to go to the other part, the higher part of the array. Now, what you take? You take this point 8 and 15 and try to find the mid again. You find the mid to be 12. Okay. So, then you search for whether it is lesser than 12 or greater than 12. You find it is greater than 12. So, now you have to search within that particular part 12 to 15. So, again you find the midpoint, you are taking the modulus. So, it becomes 14. When you take 14, what will happen? It will be lesser than. So, finally, you land up with 13. Okay. So, that is the binary search algorithm. This is a normal binary search. So, what do? You try to find the mid and keep searching. So, the binary search is given like this. Yes, the array k, low and high, k is the key that you want to search, the initial low and the high. So, if low is greater than high, then there is no such key, else this is in the middle, otherwise find the mid, low plus high by 2 modulus actually, and if the key is equal to k mid, then you return k mid. This is, it finds the mid value. If it is less than mid, you return to binary search, but now your new place you are going to search for is low and mid minus 1 instead of low and high, and otherwise you return binary search mid plus 1 plus high. So, you keep recursively calling binary search. So, the running time of a binary search, the range of candidate items to be searched is halved each time. That is why you have log n as the time. So, this is the comparison if it is a search range. Okay. So, 0 means it will take comparison is 0 means the search range is n, 1 means n by 2, the first operation, and so on. So, this is how you get log n. Now, in the array based implementation, access by rank takes 0 1 time, thus binary search runs in order of log n time. Binary search is applicable only to random access structures like arrays and vectors, that is why it is used. So, now in array based implementation, again each entry consists of two parts, search key and value. You have to encapsulate the two parts as an object, and you can use two parallel arrays or you can use a two dimensional array. This is what we are going to see in the implementation as we go along. So, here you have three array based implementation. In this array based implementation, you have an array of entry objects, they are objects, array of entries, and each entry has a key and value, and this is an instance of an entry. So, this is one way of implementing the array based implementation. The other one is parallel array. You have parallel arrays of search keys and values, and so the first is the array of search keys and the next is the parallel array of values, and these two are treated separately. So, this is the value, you have to search for it appropriately. So, this is a search keys and stored in two different arrays. There you are using an object, okay. And the third one is you have a two dimensional array of search keys and values, where the first dimension, the first one to first row is about the search key and the second row is about the value. So, three different types in which you can do array based, all are array based, okay. This is a different aspect of array based implementations can be done. It is very important from the implementation viewpoint, okay. Then we look at unsorted array based dictionary, okay. So, add a new array after all the others. So, that is one way of doing it. So, before the removal this is what will happen. So, you have to search from the beginning to find the entry to remove if you want to do remove, okay. So, to remove entry, shift elements of subsequent location towards the beginning in order the order indicated. So, the removed entry comes like this. So, you can see that it has to be removed, shifting like we did for lists. Now, sorted array based dictionary, again we are talking still about array based. You can add an entry. So, search from the beginning and find where you want to add. You find this is the place you want to add. So, you have to remove the elements towards the right, so that you find a position where you can add and that it is added. So, the after locating and subsequent shifting you complete the insertion. Now, we go for vector based implementations. In vector based implementations again you have similar in spirit to the array based implementation, but with vector no need for make room, double array, is array full, counting entries, vector does all that for you, you do not have to do anything special for this. So, there are three linked list implementations, again use a chain of linked nodes where each node is actually now again an instance of an entry, an object which a key and value. This is similar in spirit to the array implementations only. Then you can have two different parallel chains of search keys and values like before, like how we did in array, or you can have a chain of nodes that each reference a search value and key. So, you can have that also. So, each can reference a search value, one can reference a search value, one can reference a key. So, this is another method of doing it. And in vector based implementations, allocate a new node containing the key and the value. If the chain is empty, it will be at the beginning of the chain and the length of the dictionary will be increased, but otherwise you will search the chain until either you find a node containing the key or you have come to the point where it should be. So, if you have to find that place, if the key is already in the dictionary, you replace the key with the associated value, the new value that you want to insert. Otherwise, you insert a new node before the last node that was examined. So, you do that and increment the length of the dictionary. So, you have to find the place where you have to insert it and create a new node. Sometimes you will already have the node, the key. So, in which case you want to replace the key, sometimes it may be replacing the key, it depends on what you want for, you are allowing duplicate entries or not. So, what have we talked about here in this particular module? We have spoken about explain the concept of dictionary. Now, in the dictionary the main difference with what we have done up to now and what we have all the data structures is the concept of deletion itself or finding, searching or deletion itself, we have a bulk, because one key can be associated with a number of values and we are not searching for the values, we are only searching for the keys. So, you cannot say that in an unsorted sequence when you find a key, you cannot say that I have finished, because there may be other in unsorted, no. So, unless you reach the end of the dictionary, you cannot say that you have finished finding the all the elements or the entries associated with that particular key. So, that is the major difference in concept of a dictionary. and we discussed the operations of the dictionary. There could be many operations. We saw that for some particular application we need only search, for some other applications we need more of insertions and deletions are more, search is more, some insertions are more and so on. So, depending on the application you have to decide on the dictionary operations. So, this is an important concept that we saw in this particular dictionary which you have to take away, and that is the find all keys algorithm. So, find all the keys in that particular dictionary and all the entries associated with the keys, and now this particular module we spoke about how this finding is done using the binary search. So, binary search was an algorithm which we discussed in this particular module with respect to its application to finding all keys in a particular dictionary. And we spoke about, this was very interesting, where we spoke about 3 array based and 3 linked list based applications of dictionary. Both the array based and the linked list use the same concepts, but in array based when you are doing insertion you have to do shifting, and when you do deletion also you have to do shifting. But in the case of linked list, as we did for a list, similarly that disadvantage is not there. That is the difference between the two. But the 3 implementations were as this: we had a composite object which consisted of the key and the value, and depending on that we decided that we will go for I mean we will have that composite key, and that composite entry will be the element in the array. The second one, we used 2 different parallel arrays, one for search key and one for value, and we use that parallel array for the implementation. The third one was we used a 2-dimensional array, where the first row consisted of the key and the second row consisted of the value. Whether we are using any of these 3 implementation, when you are doing an insertion you have to move the shift the elements. In fact, if you are doing parallel array you have to do in both the arrays. So, that was the implementation. So, that had a disadvantage obviously. So, but it is faster to do. We went in for linked list. Linked list, again the same concepts we used. We took one composite object, and then we had 2 parallel, it was a chain of nodes. Then we had a parallel chain, 2 parallel chain of nodes, and then we had a linked list with a object which had a key and value. But here the advantages was insertion and deletion was much more simpler to do. As we described. This is true for the array and vector based implementation irrespective of the data structure that we are going to use. So, with that we spoke about a special type of ADT, which is the dictionary ADT, and the operations associated with the dictionary ADT, and the places where this dictionary ADT was applied. Thank you.